to Two Cooks in the Kitchen. Today, by the time you're seeing this, will be our 3-year anniversary of making videos, cooking videos primarily. It was an idea during the pandemic, like many people did, and it just never stopped. We still do it. So today, it's my turn to make something. I like to do the basic, more simpler recipes. I have this really old 1979 Sunset cookbook that had the recipe for something. A friend posted a picture of having Joe's Special at a restaurant, and I thought, I used to make that all the time, and I found my old yellowed recipe in this book, and I'm going to show you how simple this dish is to make. It covers everything. You got your protein, you got your spinach, and you'll be good to go. So we are going to start with the skillet over here. I'm gonna start by cooking some ground beef. Now the recipe of the book calls for 2 pounds, and there's just 2 of us, so I'm cutting the meat in half, not necessarily cutting everything else in half. So I'm going to start with a little olive oil in here. I love that old recipe says olive oil or salad oil, which I assume is vegetable oil. Use whatever you want. So I'm going to put my 1 pound of ground beef in here. The nice thing about this recipe is that I had everything on hand. All of the ingredients we needed. So we're going to ground this beef. No, it's already ground. We're going to brown the beef, and I'll come back in a few minutes when I got that going. So I forgot to mention that I'm using this sort of a large skillet because I'm going to be adding other ingredients, including some spinach, and it's going to be big for a minute. So I also forgot to talk about Joe's Special. So I did a little bit of research to find out what the heck about Joe's Special. And there's many stories apparently, but it is a dish that came out of San Francisco. They're convinced of that, from a restaurant called Joe's, also Little Joe's, and also Original Joe's. And the stories all seem to connect back to some musicians were hungry, and this is what they would whip up for the musicians. So we like the story, works for me. Okay, so we're going to leave the stuff accumulated. I don't want to say it's grease, so some of it probably is, but we're going to leave all that moisture in there because we have to put some other things in with this meat. So those other things are 1 chopped onion. I just use a regular onion. Use any kind of onion you want. I've got about 3 cloves of garlic in here. They're big ones. I think the recipe calls for basically 1, and I don't know who does that. Who in their right mind only uses 1 clove of garlic on anything? And optional, in case you don't like mushrooms, is you don't have to add the mushrooms. I'm using all that we had in the refrigerator because we are fixing to be gone for 2 weeks and gotta use them. So this is going to be generous mushrooms going in here. So we're going to cook all these up until the onions and mushrooms are, onions are a little translucent, and those onions look, I keep saying the wrong thing, and the mushrooms are cooked up. So that was probably more mushrooms than we needed, but it'll be fine.
It'll be great.
It'll be fine. Okay, so I'm just going to let this cook for a little bit, and then we'll come back to the next. I've got 2 more things to do, and then we'll be done. So this is looking really good now. I got my the mushrooms and onions are looking cooked. So while I give that just another minute on like a kind of a lowish temperature, I'm going to go ahead and measure up my stuffed seasonings that are going in here. Now, this is kind of a, I don't want to say blandish, but it's got flavors, but you could sure do whatever you want to make this your own. I'm just going with your basic stuff. So I have oregano. I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of that. Some nutmeg, which I like when that comes out. When there's nutmeg in a savory dish, it adds another dimension. 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And, you know, however much salt you like to use. I'm going to do my, you know, measure in the hand thing. That much.
About a 1/2 teaspoon?
Yeah, something like that. You know, I can imagine it's going to need maybe more of that. So this would be good to blend it up ahead so that I don't get like one big wonk of nutmeg in one bite. So we'll do that. Okay, so we're going to add this now. While that's cooking like that. Stir that in a little bit. And then I have, you know, the small containers of spinach that you can buy fresh. It's 5 ounces. So I've chopped that whole thing up. That's all going in here. Chopped up spinach. You could use frozen spinach if you want. This is going to probably just give it a much fresher and a little bit different flavor than that. See, this is why I use the big pan. This is where I make a mess. That's going to cook really quickly though. Okay. So we're going to cook this for something like 5 minutes. Just going to get that spinach cooked in. Looks funny now. Just wait. Joe's gonna like it. This reminds me of a hamburger helper or something, but not. That wouldn't be allowed in this house. And I'm also doing this kind of ahead of our dinner time tonight. And, you know, it's the kind of thing that you could make in advance and then just heat it up. I think what's going to happen for us is we're going to freeze some of this because there's no way we can eat all that in a couple of days. Now it's starting to look like normal. Yeah, I'm going to let that just cook in there for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to come back and add the eggs. Okay, this is looking way better than it did a minute ago, huh? So I've got 4 eggs here. Of course, the recipe calls for 3 to 6 eggs, so I'm just doing this the way I want. So I do 4. I'm just going to mix this in here. Oh, one spot. And then we're going to cook it for another 5 minutes. So those can cook a little bit. Looking good. Oh yeah, my mom used to make this. One of those things reminds me of being a kid and having her make something I liked. Okay, we'll come back in a minute. So here we have it. I'm kind of thinking maybe 3 eggs would have been okay, but it looks pretty good. I'm gonna put a little on a plate and give it a bite, see what I think about it. Hopefully I like it. If I don't like it, that's too bad. I'd have everything in there. I can't do it. That's pretty good. You can definitely tell that that's fresh spinach in there. It has a whole different freshness, I guess is the word. So there you have it, Joe's special, or Kelly's special. And that's it. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We continue to put out videos of cooking. Sometimes we throw in some of our trips. And always there's Matthew Cook music in there to listen to and watch. So thanks for watching 2 Cooks in the Kitchen, and we'll see you next time.